President Obama, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How much ideology did the two of you share?
Zero.
Good friends, not good friends?
I knew him as well as he knew 10,000 other people. And today I wish I knew him much better, and I wish he'd listened to me.
Did he ever contact you once you became the story in his presidential race?
Absolutely not.
And
I didn't contact him.
The entire time he's been president, you
Never.
haven't been in contact with him?
No, although I wish I were, because I have a lot of advice for him.
That was Professor Bill Ayers responding to questions about his relationship with President Obama. It was Ayers and his wife, Bernadine Dorn, also a domestic terrorist, who hosted an event at their Chicago home in 1995, where a young Barack Obama was first introduced as a candidate for the Illinois State Senate. While Ayers said his relationship with the president was casual, and Mr. Obama has since condemned the violence of the Weather Underground, what does it tell us that our now president was friendly with a man who bombed this country repeatedly? Mark Thiessen is the former chief speechwriter to President George W. Bush and an American Enterprise Institute fellow. And Kirsten Powers is a Fox News political analyst, USA Today columnist, and served in the Clinton administration. I say that not to be provocative, but to genuinely search for an answer to what it does tell us. Because I think if one thing came out of my interview with Professor Ayers, it's a full examination of what he really did. Not what he says he did when he's in public panels, but what he really did. And it puts in perspective why people were raising questions about Barack Obama's relationship with him when he was running for president, Mark.
Absolutely it does. And look, your interviews have shown without a shadow of a doubt that Bill Ayers is a noxious human being. So is his wife. He's a domestic terrorist. She's supported the Manson killings. I mean, these are noxious, detestable people. Now, it's not fair to suggest, as some have, that Barack Obama shares all of his views, or that they're simpatico politically necessarily. But Barack Obama comes from the same left-wing, far-left community in Chicago that celebrates and welcomes Bill Ayers rather than shuns him as someone who is detestable. There's no evidence that until 2008, when it became an issue in his campaign, that Barack Obama had any trouble being associated with Bill Ayers. His political career, as you point out, started in his living room. Hillary Clinton pointed out they served on the same board of the same left-wing charity.
Serving on a board is one thing. Serving on a board is one thing, but socializing, and if you read Ayers' prior writings, he talks about how they did socialize quite a bit, and they had connections with the lab school and so on. But what does it tell us, Kirsten? Because, you know, a lot of people look at Bill Ayers and they say, I would not be caught dead in that man's living room. I would not associate with him. I would not want anything to do with him, given what he has done.
Well, I guess unless you consider what he says, which is that he over and over denied what you were saying.
Oh, no,
right?
no, but he admitted to bombing the Capitol, bombing the Pentagon, bombing police stations, calling for the overthrow of the U.S. government, calling policemen pigs.
Well,
I mean, he married a woman who directly was accused of murder and repeatedly called for war against the United States. That's all admitted to.
Well, I don't, but the question is does Barack Obama know all that? And I think that's not clear to me. I think that he may have, first of all, let's just go back to the fact that he had a very vague relationship with this person. I really think it's overstated when it's said that he launched his career. Holding a fundraiser is not launching anybody's career. It's just a fundraiser.
Okay, so put that to the side.
Just
the friendship, or even take a step back,
but
the friendliness.
But David Axelrod
the friendliness. Let's take it from there. If you're Barack Obama, if you're Kirsten Powers, do you want anything to do with Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn, who was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list?
Well, no, would I speak to them? Yeah, I would speak to them.
Would you go over as you're getting into politics and hold an event in their living room?
I'm not quite where Mark is, where I feel I can sit around condemning people as detestable people. I mean, they did some bad things.
Well, Barack Obama said that.
But I don't think that. Fine, but I don't. Noxious and detestable. I mean, I thought it was a very. I thought it was a very interesting interview that you had, Megyn. And I think that he has some views that are clearly not the views that Barack Obama has. To try to compare him to Barack Obama and say that, as Mark's saying, this is the world that Barack Obama came out of, he's some left-winger. Barack Obama is assassinating people. I mean, he is not anything like Bill Ayers. He is the farthest away from that. That's why Bill Ayers says, I want to get in touch with him
so
I can tell him to stop doing this.
Barack Obama is the one who said that Bill Ayers was detestable. The problem is he only said it in 2008 when it became an issue in his campaign. Before that, he associated himself. David Axelrod said they were friendly. Those people are not friendly with people they consider to be detestable. And look, in the 1960s, Bill Buckley and No, listen. In the 1960s, Bill Buckley and the editors of National Review excommunicated the John Birch Society from the conservative movement. If you wanted to be taken seriously as a conservative, you didn't associate with them. The left has never excommunicated the Weather Other Grounder people like Bill Ayers. He's considered not somebody to be shunned, but somebody to be.
And I have to leave it at that because that's what
you don't know any people on the left if you think that that's true.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Barack Obama.
You may be out ahead of your skis on that one, KP, because our next segment is about how the left then went on to welcome Bill Ayers, Bernardine Dohrn, and so many other members of the Weather Underground into the academic circles of this country. And I don't mean just any circles. I'm talking Bernardine Dohrn. Bernardine Dohrn, who wanted to overthrow the government, repeatedly said that, and who was on the FBI's most wanted list, 10 most wanted, is now teaching at Northwestern Law School. That's next.